So this is Stranger Things in Korea. I've been in Korea uh this time since April. But overall I've been in Korea about 7 years back and forth. And this is the one of the strangest things that happened to me. I was walking looking for a pharmacy one day and this lady stopped me to ask about was I a Christian and have I been to this church? I'm like, no. And I exchanged information just because, hey, I was trying to find an English speaking church. I ain't think nothing of it. So then she wanted to meet me the next day, and then it was raining outside. I was like, I don't want to go nowhere because I had a cold. So I canceled it, and she was like, can you meet another day? And I was like, just said a random day, Wednesday, at the time I get off of work. And she was there on time, and she took me across the street where her church was. It's in a like office building or whatever. But while we were in the elevator, she said, "Do you know that in heaven that is modeled off of what we have down here on earth, and heaven is the model for what's down here?" And she said, we have God the Father, and he's like our father. He disciplines us, he loves us. And then, but we have a father in heaven, we should have a mother in heaven. I was like, okay, I can kind of get with that because, hey, we have female, male. So that didn't sound too sketchy to me. But then I go and sit down. She had a whole presentation in English about how you need to get baptized again because, I guess accepting there was a mother in heaven. I was like, no, I didn't already been baptized. And I was like, and I don't agree to be baptized again. But, kept listening to her because I didn't want to be rude. And not being rude and being nice took up 2 hours of my time before they got to the really crazy part. So she was showing all these Bible verses. And like I said, it was like a PowerPoint presentation too. And uh, it just sounds strange. But they showed me something that, okay, the first coming, you know, God's name was, you have Yahweh. And then the second part is Jesus. And then the third part uh, was the Holy Spirit. And the next part was supposed to be an actual person who should be Christ that returned. And after all this going back and forth, she really was trying to get me to be baptized in this church like that night. And I was like, no. And I was like, what is this? And then she got somebody who spoke English, and then he was going over the PowerPoint too. But basically, they were saying that Jesus was already back and he was in South Korea. They pointed out that Jesus came from the west. And these 2 points from Jerusalem, and this another part they talk about Jesus. And then if you make two lines, it points to South Korea. And then she said, or they said that Christ was already here. And then it was some Korean person. I didn't ask if it was male or female or nothing. I was like, huh? Okay, he already back? And he Korean? I was like, oh my Lord, what have I got myself into that I didn't spend a whole 2 hours listening and ended up with me saying thank you. Uh, I took my time out and listened, but I'm not agreeing what you just said to me. And then I left. And then after I thought about it for a while, I was like, you know what? That's a doggone cult. How am I just random walking down the street and find a cult? And I wasn't even thinking about anything like that. I was just trying to go see if somebody was talking about the Lord, and but not in that way. And I seen them on the street yesterday. Not that particular lady, but some ladies from that church. And they was like, "Do you have time?" I was like, "No, I got stuff to do because I was not going. I wasn't going to waste my time with that." So here's a strange story. Think about that.